Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to do a quick review of Maybelline's new 24-hour Superstay Full Coverage Foundation. I have been waiting to try this foundation for so long. I'm sure you guys have seen some of the reviews already. A lot of other beauty bloggers have been doing it, talking about it on Instagram, Snapchat, and YouTube, and now it's finally, yes, my turn. Yes, you guys, it's my turn to go ahead and review this foundation for you guys. If you guys have already subscribed to me here on YouTube or follow me on any other social media platforms, you guys already know that Maybelline is something that I absolutely love and adore. With that being said, I just had to get my hands on this foundation. Now, starting off with foundation, I feel like, as well as probably you guys do, that foundation is something very personal to each and every one of us. When we do find something that finally fits us, matches our skin tones, our undertones, so on and so forth, it is literally like winning the jackpot. I know for me, I don't really like to budge when I find a foundation that works for me. I'm just not really willing to venture out and try new things because I've actually done that in the past and it's never really worked out well for me. I've either found that foundations can, one, be too oily, they can be too red, too ashy, have like a weird green undertone. It's just something that doesn't look really good and complementary to my skin. You guys probably already know that I am very familiar with the Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless Foundation. I've actually used this in a couple of my videos. I actually am in the shade 335, that is Classic Tan for those of you that don't know. For one, I love this formulation. I love that it's very smooth. I love that it's matte. You guys know that I have oily skin. I like any foundation that is mattifying or has any mattifying properties to it. I don't like to be very shiny. I like my skin to either look very matte or have a somewhat natural finish to it. And this foundation here does just that. So moving on to our new Maybelline 24-hour Superstay Full Coverage Foundation, I actually had a chance to wear this a few times just to get a good feel for it so I could go ahead and give you guys a good, real, true review and testimonial for this product. And immediately, I noticed there was quite a few differences between these two foundations. So number one, when I opened this, I noticed that there's a little pump here. So I actually love that. I think the pump, number one, is a good thing, being that you can actually regulate the amount of foundation that you use as opposed to just a regular screw top like the Fit Me Matte and Poreless. So I think that's something that's really good, especially if you are a makeup artist on the go and you want to kind of control how much foundation you're using. You don't want to feel like you're wasting a lot of product. This is something that's really good. This is a plus for this foundation. Secondly, I automatically noticed when I pumped it on my hand in the store that the texture was completely different than what I was used to with the Fit Me Matte and Poreless. So, with the Fit Me Matte and Poreless, I noticed that that's pretty liquidy. It's not very thick as opposed to the Superstay 24-hour Full Coverage Foundation. This one is much thicker, I must say. I will actually go ahead and do a comparison on my hand so you guys can see the difference. I did notice when I blended it on my hand in the store when I was actually testing it, it actually felt different as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and show you guys, first of all, the two shades that I did pick up. So I actually picked up two shades because I was unaware. I wanted to kind of get two different shades to kind of play around with and see which one worked best for me personally. The first shade that I picked up was 330, that was in Toffee Caramel. And the second shade was in 334, and that one is Warm Sun. Before we go ahead and actually swatch this, let's go ahead and read a quick description of what the product entails. So according to Maybelline's website, the description of the foundation says, it delivers a 24-hour wear for an ultra-transforming coverage and a flawless finish that doesn't fade or shift all day. So it also says that the saturated color pigments provide an ultra-transforming effect in the long-lasting foundation. The lightweight yet high-impact coverage formula glides onto the skin for a flawless makeup finish that lasts all day, and it's also oil-free, doesn't clog pores, and it's dermatologist tested. So, reading the description off the bottle, it says, number one, it's full coverage foundation. Two, it's up to 24-hour wear. It has a seamless matte finish. It's breathable and comfortable. It's fade and transfer resistant, oil-free, and does not clog pores. And also, last but not least, dermatologist tested. Let's go ahead and swatch this so you guys can actually take a look at what it looks like. I'm going to show you guys the difference between the Fit Me Matte and Poreless and the full coverage Superstay. So again, this is shade 335. I'm just going to put a little bit of this on my hand. So I don't know if you guys can see that. That is 335, kind of liquidy. I'll probably put a little bit more. So that is $3.35. That is in the Fit Me Matte and Poreless. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take shade 330, and I'm going to go ahead and just pump this right here, if you guys can see that. So already you can tell that it's not really liquidy or runny, that it has a pretty thick consistency. I'm going to go ahead and just rub that in a little bit. Now, mind you, this is a bigger pump or amount of foundation compared to the Maybelline Fit Me Matte Poreless, but as you guys could have seen when I pumped it onto my hand, it's not really runny. So this one is very, very thick in comparison to the Fit Me Matte and Poreless. That was in the shade 330. I'm actually wearing the shade 334. Now, mind you, I did have a chance to go ahead and wear both of these colors for a few days just to kind of get a true feel for it. Now, I have found that I actually personally like the shade 334 for me a little bit better as opposed to 330. I have not had a chance to go ahead and mix the two colors only because I felt like 334 was a really good match for me. I did also notice that it was a little warm after a while through wear, but that's okay for me. According to some of the reviews on the website, I did notice that a lot of people kept talking about the makeup oxidizing, which it does, but for me that's pretty normal, being that my skin is pretty oily and makeup tends to warm up with your skin and your body heat, so on and so forth, and it does tend to change color after a while. So I'm already used to that. I personally, because of that, try to stick to foundation that doesn't tend to oxidize a whole lot. That's just something that I always have to deal with personally when it comes to wearing foundation. Some of the things that stood out to me on the website as far as the reviews go, it does show that Maybelline actually was rated for this foundation a 4.3 out of 5 stars. So for a brand new product to have 4.3 out of 5 stars, that's really good. So 4.3 out of 5 stars for me was something that kind of really made me want to try this product even more than I did so before. Some of the pros on the website as far as the reviews go for the foundation were that the foundation actually was very long wearing and long lasting. It said a lot of people said it required minimal touch-ups. I noticed for me, I did touch up throughout the day, but again, I'm always used to doing that. My skin is particularly oily, so I'm automatically going to have to touch up no matter what foundation, primer, or powder I use. It's just something that I have to deal with personally. So as far as the staying power of this foundation, I did notice by the end of the day, before I washed it off, that my skin still looked really good. It looked just slightly more matte than it did with the original foundation that I'm used to wearing, but I didn't notice a huge difference. I did notice that when I did put this on, a little goes a long way. Now I did use a brush, I did not use a beauty sponge, only because you guys know I don't prefer to use a beauty sponge. I like to use a brush. But I will say again that a little of this foundation goes a long way. I noticed also for me that when I was applying the foundation, I noticed that I had to buff in very quickly so that it did not dry in place as to where I placed it. I did notice that if you are not used to wearing a lot of makeup, or if you're maybe on the more dry side as opposed to combination or oily like myself, this may not in particular be the foundation for you, being that you probably will feel it. I know for me, throughout the day, it doesn't feel heavy or cakey, but I notice when I'm applying it, it does feel slightly different than the Fit Me Matte Poreless, but that doesn't bother me at all because I'm used to wearing a lot of makeup, and that's not an issue for me. It does say it does have full coverage. I noticed for me, it did pretty much cover almost everything. I don't really have a lot to cover on my face. I do have a couple of blemishes and a little bit of hyperpigmentation in certain areas. I did notice that it did cover up pretty well. It is a buildable foundation, but I would suggest building it slowly as opposed to putting a lot on and trying to blend it out. It will possibly look a little bit heavy or cakey if you do that, so a little bit, again, goes a long way. So when I did first try the foundation, I did probably about 2 or 3 pumps, and they weren't full-size pumps. And I felt it gave me the coverage that I needed. And so as far as the cons go, reading the reviews, there were a few things that kept coming up in there, and I did notice a lot of the people that did not like the foundation, for one, said that the undertones were a bit off. It was either too red, too pink, or somewhere in the middle, and it just did not match their skin. A lot of people were in between shades, and they just could not find a shade that actually matched them. Another thing that I did notice is a lot of people said that it did transfer. So the foundation did claim that it was non-transferable, but I find that a lot of foundation, even if it says it's non-transferable, That's just something that comes with makeup. You're probably going to transfer it anyhow. However, I personally am pretty much what you would call like a pro at not having your makeup come off on your clothes. I've had plenty of practice, trust me. It's very easy. There are tips and tricks that I'll actually probably have to put that in a video so I can show you guys how not to have your makeup transfer on to your clothes, the pillowcase, so on and so forth. So again, the cons, you guys, that I did notice were that the undertones were off, the shade ranges possibly could be expanded slightly, and that the makeup did tend to transfer a lot. Other than that, I didn't see too many cons with the foundation for me personally, other than, it did feel noticeably different when I put it on, but throughout the day with wear, I really could not tell that it felt any different than what I'm used to. Even now, wearing it now, I actually have a good amount of the foundation on, and it does not feel heavy, it does not feel thick, it does not feel cakey. As far as recommending this foundation to somebody, again, I would not personally recommend this foundation to anybody that, number one, is not used to wearing a lot of foundation or any type of makeup that feels heavy for them. This most likely will not be for you. Also, number two, if you are normal to dry skin or extremely on the dry side, this also may not be the foundation for you. Being that, again, it is a mattifying foundation, so if you are dry, it might tend to accentuate dry patches on your skin. Also, as far as uneven texture, that's going to be an issue for you. I did notice that was another con that came up in the reviews on the website. Now, as far as this foundation being a normal everyday wear for me, I will be honest with you, it is going to take me a little bit of getting used to. Like I said, it is a little thick as far as applying it goes. Wearing it throughout the day does not bother me. Like I said, I'm very used to what I already wear, which is the Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless. I think the next time I do wear the foundation, I'm going to go ahead and mix both of these shades to see what I can come up with and see how it looks on me and wears throughout the day. Alright, you guys, thank you so much for watching my video. I hope that you guys found this very helpful, and hope that a lot of you guys will actually go and have a chance to try the foundation if you have skin that is similar to mine. Again, if you are dry or not used to wearing a whole lot of makeup, this might be something that you might be able to pass on. So with that being said, I personally feel like it's a pretty good product. Again, I'm still getting used to it, but thus far I don't really have any hangups or complaints from me personally. However, we're all different. We all have our own preferences when it comes to foundation, so on and so forth. Alright, you guys, thank you so much. Hope to see you guys again next time. As usual, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys next time. Thank you. I broke it. I'm just glad that it wasn't them. I'm just really thankful that it wasn't these that got broken, because I don't know how I was going to do the video without foundation or broken bottles. And you know what I'm kind of mad about? I still had a good amount of makeup in that bottle, too. I mean, it wasn't like it was a lot of makeup, but still, like, that makeup that's on the floor is makeup that could have been on my face. Why is the floor wearing my foundation? This is just not okay. I don't like mess. And before I even started filming, I can't believe that. See, look. I almost broke another one. No, it didn't break, but I'm getting it. Okay. So, yeah.